daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies.
Daddies. Death Metal Daddies. Welcome back to another week with us at Death Metal Daddies. My name is Jeff,
Hi, I'm Silas.
and we're here to talk about death metal and daddyhood stuff.
We're back.
Back with episode 39.
We're coming back hard.
Yes, very, very hard.
Very hard, stiff,
Yes.
heavier than ever.
Yes. Some might not like how hard it is, but it's coming hard.
Yeah, it is. That's what is important, is that it's coming and that it is hard.
Exactly. Speaking of coming hard, how was your week?
It was great. Tons of that. No. Sorry. Lame. Yeah, no, it's good, man. Just super busy like always. I mean, yeah, yada yada. The truck's in the shop, still waiting on that. It's been like a week now. I guess I probably said that last week. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, nothing real exciting going on over here. We had a guy stop by and visit for some possible renovations around the house, looking to expand just in home, making some modifications so we could fit better because it's just getting way too tight with the kiddos and just such a confined space,
Yeah.
We've just never really had a lot of space here, so. But yeah, we're looking to add like a patio, maybe like convert the garage, do some stuff in the kitchen, make some more storage space. So that's exciting, man. We're really looking forward to that. Trying to think of what else. Always really stuck right here at this part because it's like I remember all the stuff and then it like comes to it and I'm like, But yeah, dude, I don't know. How was your week?
Very busy. I had a lot going on. Last Wednesday I finally got the Bronco titled and certified and all, or registered and all that. So it's finally street
Nice.
legal. Been driving a lot more. In fact, so Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, I drove up to Jeff City because I had a class I had to do Thursday and Friday, and the kids were coming up since they had a couple photo shoots Saturday and Sunday, so I just stayed up there. So I drove the Bronco up there because, well, I didn't know if I
Heck
had a
yeah.
place to stay Friday night, so I thought, you know what? If I don't find someone to let me just stay at their house, I'll just pull into a campsite and sleep at the back of the Bronco. That was my idea. I was
Yeah.
excited. Finally street legal, driving around. Hell yeah. But it was fun. Got to hang out and play some Magic with some of my old coworkers. Shout out to
Oh,
Watts,
nice.
McCrary, and James. That was
Heck
fun.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Did you find a place to sleep?
yeah, I ended up staying at the Watts' house
Oh,
because
okay. Nice.
they're the couple that they're pregnant and well, the wife is obviously not the husband,
Oh.
but Danny came up to do a maternity session with them.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Mhm.
Two birds, one stone sort of situation.
Yeah. And so yeah, did all that. Then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was mostly just waiting for them to come up here, go up to Jeff City, because they weren't
Mhm.
coming till 5, so it was just killing time. So did a lot of fishing. Um,
Oh,
did
sweet. Did you
yep,
catch anything?
not shit. It seemed like everyone else around me was catching
Oh.
stuff. Some dude even showed me. He's like, "Yeah, man, I've caught my first fish. It's this monster." And he pulls out this giant ass, big mouth, largemouth bass. Like,
Oh,
all right, I
wow.
got to keep
Damn.
going. Got to keep going, but nothing. In fact, I even
Was this
broke
like on the
Binder.
river?
It's
Oh,
at
okay.
Binder Lake.
Nice.
Even lost 2 lures. One of them was my expensive one, so that was not too fun.
Oh, shit.
But it was nice getting back out there and fishing again.
That is cool, man. That's awesome. That's a tough day, though. Everyone around you's catching fucking fish and
Oh yeah,
nothing.
yeah. It's one of the things that
Damn.
sucks about not having a boat and just doing lakeside or dock fishing because So I like fishing on
Yeah.
binder because I feel like I get the most fish from binder, but there's so much stuff underwater. Stuff gets caught on. Like
Oh,
I've lost a
really?
lot of stuff on binder. Because
Huh.
it even looks like
I
some
wouldn't
people are like,
expect that.
it looks like some people are like dumping their either Christmas trees or they're like doing landscaping and just dumping trees because there's like small trees just like
Oh, no
near the
shit.
docks.
Oh, I wonder. I bet they're putting them in for like crappie beds.
Maybe I was also
Maybe.
thinking maybe it was for because don't bass do the same thing, kind of like create little beds underneath stuff like that too, or just
I
structures in
think
general.
so. Yeah, I think a lot of fish do that. Like, because I remember trees like underwater trees always being hot spots whenever I fished with my dad. He would like
Hmm.
specifically go to like like the spot with trees where you can clearly see the branches breaking through the water. And like I always hated it because that's what always happened to me. I always get fucking snagged and like have to, and then it's such an ordeal. It's
Hmm.
like, oh fuck, I just replaced this one, snagged again. It's like, dude,
Hmm.
so demoralizing. It just makes you want to not fish at all. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but that's where the beds are. So I mean, I guess that's where you got to fish. I don't know. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
surprising to me though that that's like that there because that park I feel like looks so manicured.
Yeah. And I wonder maybe it is like that is what they're doing, like just trying to artificially create some more bass beds or just fish beds in general.
Hmm.
Because I saw it by two different docks, so it could be that, or I'm also thinking if it's just people doing landscaping and just dumping trees. Because I could also see people of
Yeah,
Jeff City doing that too. But
I literally
yeah,
just did that at the docks where I work. I was like
just
down
dump
there and
some
trimming.
landscaping.
Yeah, well, like yeah, I was trimming this giant ass weed that was just growing out on the side of like the bank at the lake, and it's just like pretty fat like base, so like at least a couple inches. So I mean, it's decent size. I was like, it might be a good fish bed. Let's just fucking chop this down and toss it right out here behind someone's jet ski. So that's what I did. I mean, I don't know. I've never fished there, so I don't know if that was smart or not, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, and I know that that's like the best spots to fish. So I was trying to like fish near to like draw them out, but I couldn't get anything. Did switch eventually to the Texas rig, which how it is, it's supposed to not get snagged because the hook is buried in the worm. But even then, I wasn't getting anything. But there was some fish like taunting me, just kept going to the surface, just doing a little splash. I would throw it over
Oh
in that
wow,
direction or try to pull it to where it goes in that path. Nothing. And
huh?
then it does it a little bit near. It's like, God damn it, I can't get anything out here all
Yeah,
day.
that's tough. Were you just like kind of like playing with it, like slow reeling it in, and like,
Yeah, I was trying to slow reel it and even trying to like go to where it's lined up, but it's way past it, so it looks more natural like when it comes to it.
mhm,
But even then, just nothing.
yeah, damn, that's tough. Surprising, man. I
Yeah,
haven't been fishing in so long. I really want to go.
yeah.
I really
It
need to,
was,
but
it's more fun when you catch something because I feel like
yeah,
all these trips of going out there and not catching anything is just demoralizing. It's just like, why am I do this? And then you catch it, it's
yeah,
like, fuck yeah, I gotta keep doing this.
yeah. Well, dude, that's why hunting kills me. It's like I've dedicated so much time to bow hunting, and there's been so many days where I don't see shit. So, the longer the season goes on, like at the beginning of the seasons, I'm always like super pumped, and I'm always just like, fuck yeah, getting out at like 4:30 a.m. just to go to my stand by like 5:30, and then it's still dark, and I'm just sitting there in the dark, and then for hours on end, and like you think about how many days you dedicated on your weekends to doing that, and like how little deer you've seen. It's just like, oh man, it's hard to stay motivated throughout the rest of the season. I mean, yeah, it gets tough, man. But they say that patience pays off, and obviously big deer get killed, so it's just all learning curve, I guess.
Yeah. I kind of had that same thought when I was deer hunting this year because I kept waking up because I know like what technically you can start hunting an hour before sunrise or something like that.
30 minutes. It's 30
30
minutes
minutes.
before sunrise to 30 minutes after sunset.
I got you. So I would like wake up and like try to get out there like at least an hour, but not do anything. Just sit there and wait because I don't want to like once hunting starts, I don't want to like disturb everything, and make them run away. So I want to sit there and be patient, and ready.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I realized there's no point in me being out there that early because I can't see shit.
Yeah.
You can't have night vision.
Yeah,
Can't.
I mean, it's so tough because I have definitely been in situations where I climb up into stand and literally 10 minutes later, I'm hearing footsteps move in. And it's just I feel like I can identify a deer walking by its footsteps. It just sounds different than like a raccoon would or or an armadillo. If you've ever seen an armadillo out hunting, dude, like you know it because they're loud as shit. And they're
Mhm.
just and it'll just get closer and closer and closer. And me and Collins were actually doing a buddy hunt this year and had one come in on us. And I was getting like super pumped. I was like, oh, dude, it sounds like this thing's really moving. But then we noticed it was just staying in the area too long and comfortably. So like we just started looking at each other. It's like, what the fuck is that? And then finally we just see this little scurry ass dude just coming in by us, not giving a shit about anything. Just like, I don't know, they like sniff the ground for bugs and shit. So just kind of do their
Yeah.
thing, They don't really care what's around them, it seems like.
Yeah, I've also seen because I had one in my backyard at the middle of the night. I freaked out because Everest was freaking out and barking at it. I was wondering what the fuck is he barking at? And I thought it was middle of the night, so it was dark, and it looked like I thought it was just a plastic bag, like the wind was blowing. But apparently it was
Mm-hmm.
this armadillo who was walking backwards. And I looked it up. I
Oh,
guess they do that to like collect like leaves and sticks and stuff for like almost like a little bit of a shelter bed thing. But
oh
yeah, I
wow.
guess they'll do that too. Like, and again, like you said, loud as shit because it's trying to collect all this
Yeah.
shit.
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't really think of that. That's cool. But like, compared to like deer, whenever they move in, I feel like it's very ghost like. Like you
Hmm.
really have to be paying attention when they come in because they're trying to not be seen.
Hmm.
It's just like a tactic of theirs. And so they're very quiet and I feel like if it's like a field setting, good luck even hearing them because those often aren't just getting leaves collected. But if you're in a more wooded area, and leaves are on the ground, that's a really helpful identifier because you'll just kind
Yeah.
of hear this like pattern trot, like ch, ch, ch. And so I don't know, but I don't even remember how I got to there. But fuck, what were we talking about? How did we get
I
to
think we
there?
were talking about fishing and the demoralizing it is. So
Oh
it did
yeah,
translate to hunting.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Like the dedication of time to it, and not seeing anything. But that's their home, dude, and they know how to move around it. They're just so used to that area, and we're just walking in, fucking all stomping our way in to the stand every morning with our fucking bags and shit. And sometimes, like walking in with Collins, I'm just like, you are just making so much noise. Like they gotta know you're coming in there. I mean, if
Hmm.
they have any decent sort of hearing, um, they gotta know. So the key is, to get in there and honestly, probably more quicker than possible than more silent based taking your time
Yeah.
because scent factor goes into it as well, and so you don't want to just be like hanging around and I guess getting your smell and everything. But
Hmm.
I don't know, there's all kinds of theories out there, man, and I think I believe some of both. Some of the scent and definitely sound plays its
Yeah.
parts.
I do think the scent does play a big role because I remember the first time I went hunting at my brother's house, like I didn't do anything. I just kind of went out there, didn't see shit the entire time, except when my brother's wife came home, like there's a bunch of deer in the driveway. But when I'm out hunting them, I can't see any. But this year,
Yeah,
I
right.
specifically bought like deer hunting soap, like unscented to like mask your scent. So I told Annie
Mm-hmm.
like before we go, take a shower, wash your body with this, get all that scent off you. I washed everything that we wore clothes wise in the washing machine with some scent blocker stuff, and then put it in the dryer with the scent blocking dryer sheets. And we saw a lot of
Nice.
deer. First time we went hunting, saw like pack three. A couple days later, saw one or two. Like they didn't seem to be bothered by our scent, so it seemed to work that time.
That's cool.
So I do think scent
Yeah,
does play like the major role.
I think it does, man. And I use that product stuff too, because I've noticed that like if you go for that hunting brand name stuff, it's actually more expensive because what it really is just unscented laundry detergent. So I've been going to the laundry detergent aisle, and I just get the cheapest, most basic unscented thing. And you look at the ingredients, and it's literally the same as that scent blocker stuff. So, you
Hmm.
know, I just feel like they're really selling the logo and shit with that. But anyways, yeah, I do think it works too. And I'll do the same thing. I'll try to do like a laundry wash the night before the hunt, throw it in the dryer, and then once it's dried, I throw it out on the porch to kind of soak in like the outside air and maybe get like an outside scent rather than a
Hmm.
inside, my house scent. So I don't know. I don't know. I sometimes I think it helps. Sometimes, I think it doesn't. Like I've done this in mornings and I walk in and get to stand 5 minutes and I sit down and I finally get to my quiet. I'm like, all right, zone in to be quiet. And I start doing zoning and then I just hear and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then they all scatter, So it's just like, oh, I don't know. It tests all the theories for sure. It's tough to crack them, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I could go on and on about that shit.
Well, moving on from hunting, do you want to talk about some of these our new releases?
Yeah, dude.
Some new music?
Let's dive right in.
New.
What are you guys listening to?
Weekly playlist.
Weekly playlist.
Weekly playlist. Weekly.
New releases.
What are
This
you
week
listening
is
to?
this week is a
What are
lot.
you listening to?
This week was a lot shorter of a playlist. It's only 3 hours and 58 minutes, 51 songs. It really is the only things I could really find. Didn't couldn't find too much. But I was pretty satisfied. There's some good stuff in here, but I think we should probably maybe start off with the singles.
All right.
So up first is another single from the upcoming album for the Callous Daoboys from their upcoming album, I Don't Want to See You in Heaven, I think it's called. This song is called Lemon. Um, I love Callous Daoboys, but I'm not really into this song. I didn't really see the point in having a super soft, clean song when it's just not really what they're about. And I understand, like, I feel like this would have been better if they didn't already have that song Two-Headed Trout, which already has the clean part, but the clean parts also has a heaviness at the end. And I felt like the clean part was a lot better than this whole song. So the song
Yeah.
kind of didn't really do anything for me. Did you listen to this song?
I listened to this one and yeah, I kind of had the same reaction. I didn't really care for it. I thought it was like real pop punky
Mhm.
and I don't know, not the really vibe I was digging. So, um, but yeah, I remember, wasn't there like a sick riff on that two-headed trout one? And
Yeah, that's the one. Even
so I was,
even in the soft part, it's like even super catchy and cool. Then yeah, that
yeah,
heaviness comes in.
yeah. So yeah, man, I don't know. I was really thrown off, but maybe they're just playing around with different genres, whatever. I guess more power to them. But
Yeah,
did you check out Allegeon The Swarm?
I
Or is
did.
that how you say it? Is it Allegeon?
Allegion, Allegion. I don't know.
It's
I've
one of
always just
those
called him
band names
Allegion.
that's yeah. I think I have too. But I've always questioned it. I've always felt like I had to question it just because of the
Yeah,
spelling. Could be gayon.
or All Egion.
Yeah, Allegeon.
Yeah, I did.
Allegeon. Sorry.
San Diegites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
I did listen
The
to this.
Swarm.
I like this a lot better than the previous single they released. I thought uh because you always hear these songs called this is a very common title in metal, The Swarm. But I felt like the
Mhm.
music actually fit the title pretty good. I get the
Mhm.
riff is actually makes me think of
Yeah.
a bunch of bees coming at me or something like that, like a swarm of like insects. It's very panic inducing riff. Um,
I
not
just
the
picture you like
bees.
beekeeping, and then you're like you find that hole in your suit, and they're all just fucking swarming. And you're like, fuck. Legion just kicks in. Oh yeah,
What'd you
yeah. I
think of
thought
this
it was
song?
sick though. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, man. These guys always really surprise me. I don't know. They're like, I feel like they don't get the attention they deserve. You know, they're like
Hmm.
one of them. Like they make
Yeah.
badass tunes, dude, and just I know I see them tour and stuff, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It does feel like they're almost like stuck in a certain, almost like the mid tier, but with their skill and the music they come out with, it sounds like they should be kind of a higher tier when it comes to that tech death that they play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they got crazy technical shit. And I mean, I would say like along the lines of like psychroptic and stuff, you know.
Hmm.
But anyways, yeah, it was a sick one, man. I thought it was really cool. I remember the last time I really listened to this band, it was I don't even know, the song was just called Science. It was like, I don't know, do you remember that one? Does that sound familiar?
Not really, because they're one of those bands that kind of just go in and out of. I check in on them every now and then.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, same. I haven't like really stayed consistent with their releases, I don't think. But yeah, super sick though, man.
yeah.
What about Cradle of Filth, White Hellebore?
I feel like I listened to it and I didn't mind it, but still, what in my opinion, it wasn't as good as To Live Deliciously, which still is
Mm,
kind of like I know I feel like I dogged on a little bit when we reviewed it, but I still think it is super catchy. To where this didn't have the same catchiness as it. What did you think of this one?
um, yeah, I concur. It's, I felt good. Like, I feel like I heard him do his like kind of old school Danny Filth thrashier type vocals in this one, if I remember right. And so I thought that was cool, but yeah, it didn't really stick with me like that other one did. But yeah, still interesting, man. I'm still excited for that release.
Yeah, and which is actually supposed to be coming out this Friday. The
Oh,
Screaming of the
nice.
Valkyries. So next time we do this, we'll be talking about this full
Okay,
album among a
sweet.
couple. So we have five big releases coming out this Friday. We have obviously Cradle of Filth, The Screaming of the Valkyries. We have Gates to Hell, Death Comes to All. We have Imperial Triumphants, Gold Star.
Oh
Cabal's
yeah, wow.
Everything Rots, and
Damn,
Spirit World's Hell Dorado.
that's gonna be
It's a
crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week for releases.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But back to this
Hell
playlist.
yeah.
There was a couple more singles I put at the bottom, and this one I was very much blown away, and I thought, I hope Olson listens to this
Ah,
because I feel like this
fuck.
is right up your alley.
Damn
And
it, dude. I missed another one.
that
I
was
did not. I didn't.
Fracturus.
Okay, yeah, I didn't make it to it. Sorry, man. I intended to, but like I barely made it to the last band, maybe last couple albums, and so I didn't get past that. Sorry.
I
But
got you. Yeah,
anyways, how is it, man? Is it
this
juicy?
is a brand new band called Fracturus. They're from Quebec, Canada, and playing technical death metal, which if they're from Quebec and they're playing tech death, you know it's going to be amazing because it seems like everyone who
Oh
comes
yeah.
there playing that style is going to be amazing. This is very well
They should
done.
call it
Very,
they need sorry to interrupt, but they should like kind of create a genre with that tag. Like that could be their like Keck Keck
tech,
Death.
tech death.
Yeah, Keck Death Keck Keck Tech. Oh my gosh. Keck Tech Death. Wow. Sorry. That was just like a deet deet. It was like a red flag like flashing in my mind. It's like, oh, great idea.
Maybe Keck death.
Yeah, Keck Death.
Yeah, instead of
It
tech.
sounds it's pretty funny. I don't know.
But yeah, this is
Take it or don't. But if it makes you a lot of money, then get at me. I'll hurt your boy.
This is a trio, and I want to say the one of the members is from a what was this band's the other band's called? I gotta look it up. Um,
Oh man, I seen this album cover too, and I thought this album cover, I was like, damn, that looks sick, dude. And I never listened to it. Fuck.
yeah, this
Oh,
is
this is
a
an old release, man.
is it?
November 15th, 2024.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that old. Yeah, I just popped up on that avant-garde thing, but this is
Oh,
I would
okay.
say think of Archspire, but with a little bit of more
Oh,
melodic like solos. Like the solo in this is amazing, very melodic
oh shit.
and very Archspire type feel with very
Okay.
well production. This was amazing. I
Oh, I'm gonna have
recommend
to check
this.
it.
Oh yeah. Awesome release. I'm excited to see what this band does. Because from what I understand, I don't know if they even have. It seems in the description they're talking about an EP. Oh, they do have a full album. Versus the Void out in 2023, and then L'Appel du Vide in
Hmm.
2021 is their debut EP.
What is that
Yeah,
phrase? It's been used a couple times, huh?
the Call of the Void. It's
Oh, okay.
it has to do with like when you have those dark impulse thoughts that just kind of your intrusive thoughts, as people have been calling it
Mm,
recently.
okay.
Um,
So my day-to-day grind mindset? No. It sounds like work. Sounds like Monday through Friday.
yeah, that's Fracturus. Lastly, we also have this is slightly political because I only added this because it was in the news. So this is the song is called "Your God" (parentheses God's Dick) by Laura Jane Grace, who is the lead singer of Against Me, who for me was very popular in high school. I remember I still listen to their big album New Wave, which features like the thrash and reel song Stop. So I really enjoy their sound, and this is her side project. But it was in the news recently because she performed this song acoustically. It's a brand new song, but she performed it acoustically at a Bernie Sanders rally,
Oh,
and
wow.
the news is
Oh,
taken off because not only is all of that,
that's what I
so
see.
it's
Okay.
a Bernie Sanders rally. It's a song that's very blasphemous, and she's trans. So those three are
Okay. Wow. She's
it's
like meant
going to
for
be in the
media right now.
news. Oh
That's
yeah.
crazy.
But with
Um,
all that to the
okay.
side, I love this song and I've listened to this multiple times every day because it's so fucking catchy. It's only 2 minutes
Okay.
long. Um,
Wow. Okay.
have you listened to this one?
No, no, I didn't make it to this one either. Sorry. But
This
yeah, I only know about it because of that news reference you said. So I seen a glimpse of that and I heard some of the words and I was like, oh, okay, right on.
it's
But yeah, no, I haven't listened to the actual song.
it's funny but somewhat still political because the chorus is literally "Does your God have a big fat dick? Because he feels like he's fucking me." Are his balls filled with lightning? Do they dangle like heaven's keys? Like the whole song is almost like to the theme of that nursery rhyme. Does his ears hang low? Do they wobble to the floor? Like that's how the whole like rhythm goes. It's funny, it's fun, and it's like I said, super catchy and short. I enjoyed
Okay.
it. I understand if some people might not like it for the political stuff, or if I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you're worried about the blasphemous part, I mean, we talk about more blasphemous bands than what they're talking about in this song. But I understand if some people might not like this, but I enjoyed it and I recommend people check it out.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it for the singles. I there was some other singles that weren't on here that I wonder if maybe you checked out. Did you check out the new Rivers of Nile song, American Death?
Yeah, and I just wasn't crazy about it. I I don't know. What's your thoughts?
So I was thrown off by the intro with that Hillary Clinton quote that they just like run through things like, okay, I'm used to that in like super political music, but this is Rivers of Nile who talks about like owls in the woods and, but okay,
Yeah.
we'll go with it.
Nihil.
Yeah, but I thought the as soon as it kicked in with like the music, I thought, holy shit, this is like the like Death and Rippin' version of
Yeah.
Rivers of Nile. I was like, oh, I love this. I
I
was
did.
loving it,
I
jamming.
dug the tunes, but
But then the worst thing that could have happened was the chorus kicked in, which was almost like a shine down style, both in the vocals and in the guitars. The drums still feel like they're doing like typical Rivers and Nile stuff. It just sounds like everyone else is just like I
yeah.
I
Really?
hated
Wow.
it.
Damn.
I hated that part. Like I
Okay.
loved it up
I
until that part.
liked it, man. I actually like Andy's vocals. I think he is a hell of a singer, man. He's got a great vibrato whenever he does sing and belt it, and a great voice. I'm just hung up on like the lyrical content, like the words they're singing. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. Doesn't stick with me, you know?
It's also, because the song's called American Death. What?
Mm.
Because I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics because obviously I couldn't really decipher on the first listen of like the death vocals. And as soon as the clean vocals kicked in, my mind just went no. But what was he saying in the chorus? Because I'm trying to understand. Because you have a political sample in the beginning, and then the name of the song is American Death. What are the lyrics?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up actually because I didn't. Oh, not senses fail. Rivers of Nihil. Nihong. Rivers of Nihong. Okay. This is according to azlyrics.com. So you know it's
That's
good.
quick.
My currency is bloodshed, Wild West, alive and well. Down the falling axes, send the enemy straight to hell. Heaven mandate, reign supreme. Adrenochrome, American dream. Fucking pigs won't waste themselves. They learn the cost of being free. The side you love, the one you hated. Surveillance state incorporated. If it's the end of my empire, I want to be the last survivor. Do you care when you go when you die? Tried to tell you, death. American is apple pie. Another tragedy I forgot. I bridged to sell you while we dance in the total system rot. I can't believe anything you say since the last revolution that you tried to fake. Who's right? What's left? American death. So when they come to claim the day the bill comes due with righteous foreign hate, some of all your fear come true. Fulfilling history prophesized, and when he with his knife, I'll look that dirty bastard dead in his eye and say I had a fucking beautiful life. I can't believe anything you say since the last revolution that you tried to fake. Who's right? What's left? American death. So I think that's what he sings, right?
Yeah, because that's the only. Since he's repeating that,
Like
that's
on the
probably the
cleans.
chorus.
That's what I'm thinking. And it goes on. There's some more, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, they repeat a couple lines later on the end of the song. So, yeah, I guess it's just kind of against the Empire rebellion.
I gotcha.
It's pretty much what I get from it, don't you think?
Yeah, it also sounds like the kind of going into a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff, like with mentioning like the adrenochrome and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know about American apple pie.
Yeah, that's kind
Did
of a cheesy
Americans-
line.
Did Americans
That-
don the apple pie? Did we start the apple pie?
Well, I know that's just the saying. It's
Oh, is
just
it?
that's as American as apple pie.
Okay. I didn't even know I was the saying.
Oh, you never heard that saying? That's like, but
No?
I don't know. I felt it was just a little cheesy to say that death is as American as apple pie. Is like, Eh, eh.
Yeah, if you don't fucking put whipped cream on it. It's either whipped cream or nothing.
I don't know. I like apple pie just plain as long as it's warm. Just
Yeah.
warm apple
Yeah,
pie.
maybe I'm kind of weird on that because I put whipped cream on like every pie. I'm
I
like,
will
oh, it's
on
pie. It needs whipped cream.
pumpkin pie. Always needs whipped cream.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. Apple pie,
But
maybe ice cream on the side. Just a little bit of that hot and cool.
oh yeah, that's always a fun mix.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, um, yeah, man. I don't know. I dig the riffage. I can't lie
Mhm.
there. It's sick. It's sick riffs, man. But yeah, I don't know. The other stuff, I just get caught up. I
Yeah.
think too much. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
That's all I got for singles. Was there any other singles that you maybe checked
no,
out you wanted to bring up?
no, I don't think so, man. I think that's pretty much it.
I gotcha. So we can move on to albums now. Um, and I don't know about you, but I probably already bring up which one's my favorite. Technically got two favorites. Uh, so if you pick one of mine, I can just go with the other one.
Okay. I'm going to pick my favorite.
Okay.
It was Warbringer,
Wrath
Wrath
and
and
Ruin.
Ruin.
Yeah, that was one of my picks. This was awesome. But go ahead. Go.
Dude, totally awesome. I was really totally surprised by the sound. Or I mean, not totally, but I feel like I've heard this band before, and I always like what I do here. They sound like that whole um, pump you up, like go to war style death metal. It's
Mhm.
super fun, thrashy elements, badass all around. But one of the things that really sticks out to me with this band is the lyrics and the phrasing and shit, and his style of metal vocal. It's perfect remedy. It like goes with the music so well, man, and just hyped me up. It got me pumped. I just felt like the writing here is very intricate. He like tells us it's like he's telling a story throughout the entire album.
Mhm.
Um, and it was just I don't know, dude, super badass. I was yeah, thoroughly impressed. What'd you think about it, man?
I did love this album, and you did bring up some of the stuff I was wanting to talk about because I'm not like I do like thrash, but I feel like sometimes it can get old. But this band seems to kind of bring
Yeah.
it brings the energy of like Anthrax or like something like the East Coast thrash bands, but it doesn't have
Hmm.
the like party vibe that kind of kills that energy a little bit. So it has that
Yeah.
awesome energy, but the vibe of like Slayer and like the West Coast thrash. And you also bring up the lyrics, which I also wanted to bring up because it's awesome. Especially, I remember hearing some of the lyrics in this opening track, "The Sword and the Cross." I think the lyric is "Swear by my word as I lift my sword, uh, pray to my God, or pray to my God, or you will meet yours." I thought, damn, that's fucking. It's because, like
Yeah.
you said, it's perfect wordplay to where it actually does make sense. The rhymes are perfect. Um,
Yeah, dude.
this was a great album, kept my interest the whole way through. Best songs for me was probably "The Sword and the Cross," "Neuromancer," then also "Cage of Air." Surprisingly, I know it's weird to me, but yeah, the three longest songs in the album are my favorite ones. This is a
Wow.
fun, good album.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, I really liked The Sword and the Cross, Neuromancer. I thought that was super sick. I mean, really the whole album, dude. I was able to really like it all the way through and through. Badass sound, dude, with this band. I really dig it. And I think like one of the things that helps is like you made a good point, like they separate themselves from like that kind of party thrash. I'd say this is more like fantasy based material,
Hmm.
definitely kind of get those vibes like with the lyrics and stuff. But I was almost like thinking it was Creator at first, but
Hmm.
like a badass Creator, because I feel like Creator kind of loses me on like the lyrical content and stuff. But this was super sick, dude. Yeah, badass album for sure.
Yes. Yes. Check out Warbringer's new album, "Wrath and Ruin." Um, for me, my pick of the week is probably going to be. So this is I added this purely because I looked at the album cover and thought this was a slam band. I was very pleasantly surprised. It's not, but it's still awesome. And that is the new album, Phoenix Cryptobiosis by Avulsed, who
Okay.
I thought like, man, this new band. This is a brand new band. This is awesome. Did some digging. No, this band's been around since 1991. Um,
Oh, wow.
this is actually their eighth album. Uh, and they're from so this is a death metal band from Spain, and they're very particular type. It's kind of like similar vibes of like Autopsy and Incantation. It's that cavernous death metal sound, which I'm not typically too into. I kind of like Autopsy, but I feel like it wears thin. To where this album, I was interested the entire time. Uh, awesome, because with cavernous, I feel like it can get stale after a while, to where this they mix it up so much that it keeps me interested. Like awesome instrumental opening track, which kind of creates that vibe. Then Lacerated dominates the first real song, very by the book, cavernous death metal. I was like, all right, this is pretty good. Blood Monolith almost starts off with a borderline pig squeal, which was awesome and fast and
Yeah.
furious. Uh, Guts of the Gore Gods has an amazing catchy riff. The title track Phoenix Cryptobiosis is also sick. I love this album. This is awesome and makes me want to check them out more. And I also saw I think it's their previous album or album before that. They also did a similar Vault of Horrors thing to where every track features someone else,
Oh,
uh,
really?
including Autopsy,
Oh,
Incantation.
shit.
So all the bands that
Okay.
like I kind of associate with the sound, but they also have
Wow.
Sven from Aborted on it as well.
Oh, dude. Okay. What track is he on?
He's on. It's not on this album, but it's I want to say I can look it up real quick.
Damn, that's awesome.
Volts. Yeah, they even have Mortician. It's pretty much a Who's
Nice.
Who kind of thing. Is it Death Generation? Is that the album? Yeah, Death Generation. He is on the song Daddy Stew.
Awesome. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Avulsed from all the way from Madrid, Spain. Check them out. This was awesome. Their new album, Phoenix Cryptobiosis.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Did you listen to this one? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I did, man. This album rips. It was sick sounds, sick tunage. I really dig that album cover. That is freaking badass.
Does it give a
It's
little
like
bit of
a,
slam vibes?
yeah, I would definitely guess like slam death, but it's like a spawn creature, like coming out of a hell portal, like,
Mm-hmm.
like, some ancient ruins. Pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sick album. Check it out. We do have some other releases to talk about. We have this new Coheed and Cambria album, The Father of Make Believe. And I do like Coheed and Cambria. I almost feel like this was borderline a mistake putting it in a death metal podcast, but I felt like since we had already been talking about some of the singles leading up to it, I had to put it on here. This isn't terrible, but it's not something I would put at like the top half of their discography. I thought Blindside Sunny was a good surprise. This is almost kind of a more metal song for them
Mm-hmm.
with some of the screams, and also I feel like the riffage is reminds me a lot of like Lux Eterna from Metallica.
Yeah.
Very fun vibe. Also, the title track "Father of Make Believe" wasn't bad. Pretty cool. But all in all, I wasn't super impressed with this one. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, and I was kind of surprised because I've seen it making a bunch of people's like lists already. You know, they're already like giving it real high praise. And I like Coheed too, but I just kind of thought it was a little lackluster for me. But Blindside Sunny was cool, man. I
Hmm.
liked the upbeat riffage. Um, Definitely pretty sick. Almost gave me kind of like Mastodon style vibes, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
But that was cool. But yeah, I kind of moved on, went to something heavier.
Yeah. If you want to check this out, this is the new album by Coheed and Cambria. I don't even know how many albums they have at this point, but their new album, The Father of Make Believe, and you can probably check this out if you're near a tour stop where they're touring with Mastodon and Periphery. I recommend going to that tour if you can.
Ah, that'd be sick.
Oh yeah. Um, Up next we have an couple of underground releases. First up we have Envisioned with their self-titled album Envisioned. I didn't really stick with this one that long. I think I only listened to the first two tracks, which first one's just an intro track, and then the second one, the first full song is "I Can See the Eye." This is very just kind of straightforward black metal, slightly more raw than like the modern stuff is doing. But I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
some with it just didn't really stick with me or seem. I don't know, it just didn't catch my attention that much. What did you think? Did you listen to this one at all?
Yeah, it's definitely got that like stuck in a cave type vocals going on there.
Hmm.
Very distant. That's pretty sick. It's got like the right sounds for me, but yeah, I didn't really find anything crazy sticking with me either. But I was also kind of in more like a slammy vibe. We were I
Yeah.
was trying to do my Devourment homework too. So yeah, man. But I like the elements. I dig the
Yeah.
elements. I think maybe I might dig into it at another time. I'm kind of weird and phasey with genres, so
Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, that is this band called Envisioned with their self-titled album Envisioned. If you want some black metal, go ahead and check that out. Also, if you want some more black metal, we have another underground black metal band to talk about. That is this band called Horyn with their new album or EP, I guess. I don't know which you would call it. It's only 4 tracks long, but their new EP or release, Fatum or Fatum. Um, so this is I gave this band a chance. I actually started getting into the first track a little bit, which each track is it's literally 1, 2, 3, and 4. Um, the first song kind of had a little bit of a charm to me because it made me think of like the early stuff of like Immortal or like early
yeah,
Dark Throne. Very raw and it even fit the vibe a little bit.
for sure.
Vocals, kind of. I mean, it felt like it didn't. I didn't mind it too much. It's when the album started going after a while. I almost sounds. The vocals are almost the most annoying part for me because it sounds like Beaker from the Muppets is trying to do a King Diamond impression. It's very weird sounding. But the first track's like, all right, you know what? It's the vibe. I get it. But
Yeah,
as the album continued, I got more frustrated. Because especially the transition from track one to track two, that showed me right there. It felt like because it's almost like imagine you're playing track one on the radio and someone pulls your aux cord and goes straight to the radio. That's the transition from track one to track two. It's just abrupt change. It felt
wow.
like that's where to it this EP or whatever almost feels like a demo. Like it just feels unfinished product. Um but yeah, two, it sounds like the production gets worse. Remember thinking it sounded like one, it sounds like you're in an apartment building on the third floor and there's a black metal band practicing on the first floor. The second track feels like the second day to where that band is now listening to what they practiced the other day. Uh, Third track, I don't remember too much, but the fourth track feels like the band is having a party on the second floor, but not all the singer wasn't invited, so they just have a random friend fill in for it. It's just this is a weird EP. First track,
Interesting.
yeah, first track, I went into this fully open mind because I loved the album art. I thought maybe this is gonna be like because it looks like a Wendigo from Native American folklore. It's like, ooh, you're gonna get
Mm,
into that stuff like that dark like the malevolent creatures in like Native American religion. Let's do it. But no, I don't. It's not bad. I feel like this band could be better, but I feel like there need to be a lot more attention to detail when it came to some of the editing and mixing choices. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts on this?
I didn't listen to the whole EP. I got the first song and I could kind of get the gist of what they're doing. I agree, man. Like, I really dig those sounds of the guitars, drums, that side of it. Like, they're really capturing the old school or black metal, like truly. And that's awesome. But the vocals, there's another band that I listen to that's kind of doing this style. And it's just almost like a emotional outburst vocal.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like there's no real control there. It's just letting that shit out,
Mm-hmm.
And there's something that's kind of interesting about that to me, but it just really wasn't the vibe I was feeling. So I
Yeah.
just kind of moved on. But yeah, man, I don't know. I definitely did the cover and the black metal vibes here, but it's I didn't listen to the whole EP, so
Yeah, I feel like the vocals would probably work better if maybe they ran an effect on to make it sound more distant, almost like a
yeah.
like a screaming out spirit kind of thing. I think that would add to the vibe so much better.
Need like a Deaf Heaven reverb on it or something.
Yeah. Something to like really play the vocals into what everything else is doing and really fit into like the image of the cover art and then kind of play into that whole vibe. I feel like that it would work great. And maybe even stick with the same production on all 4 songs. Because it feels like I said, it feels like a different producer, just different mindset with each song and when it comes to their production level. But I do recommend at least giving this a try, and that's the new release by Horyn. The name of this is called Fatum, Fatum. Check it out. But yeah, that's all the new releases on our playlist. Is there anything else that we missed that should have been on the playlist that you checked out?
I don't think so, dude. I think you pretty much
Gotcha.
nailed it.
All right. So let's move on to metal.
Metal news.
News.
Nice. Some drama. Let's get into it.
You have some metal news you want to bring up? Because I can't think of anything right now.
No, I don't.
All right, that concludes this
Okay.
week's metal news.
We came we came prepared tonight.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I even tried thinking of things past couple of days. Haven't really seen anything. Yeah, nothing really going on metal news wise.
Do you know where's the status on these Tool lawsuits?
I have not checked since last time. I see one from 5 days ago. Tool will be sued by 100 fans after festival setlist drama. That was 5 days ago. Let me see if there's an update.
Jeez.
Sort by date.
Class action lawsuit. Wow. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I guess they're still in the process of filing the class action lawsuits.
They're going to have to get a definition of unique on that case.
Yeah.
Because that's like really what they're being sued for, it looks like.
Yeah.
It's like technically because they failed to deliver 2 unique sets. Man, that's crazy. But I mean, I don't know. I can kind of see where Tool can just pull it out of their ass and say they were unique because they did have different songs, but not all of them were.
I feel like that's just a kind of cop out because either way, I feel like this should be a wake up call that you're kind of treating your fans like shit. And maybe you guys are at fault.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just really want to know what they're thinking. I feel like they haven't released any apology statements, which doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a fucking tough one there. But if you're going to say 2 unique sets, then you should have brought 2 different playlists. I mean, because
it's not like they don't have the songs.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. Crazy shit.
And I already feel like they kind of have a little bit of animosity already when it comes to like thinking they're bigger, better, because I want to say he always complains about people on their phones at his concerts. Doesn't he also
Right.
call people out? Um,
Okay, well, that's a good topic. Like, I kind of agree with him on that one, though. Like, the phone at the show. But I'm also guilty of taking pictures. So it's hard because, like, I think a picture's okay, but I really get annoyed with, like, the fucking recording and the reels and shit. It's like, but I'm also guilty of that too. So,
I I'm torn. I feel like there has to be some limitation because when I was at the Cryptopsy show, there was someone like two people back from the stage, just his phone out and filming all the
yeah.
sets. I think
Yeah.
that's
See,
a
like,
little ridiculous.
that's excessive. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, come on, dude, get 30 seconds and you're good.
Yeah,
Like, you don't need to fucking hold your phone out in front of someone's fucking view. I just, yeah, it drives me nuts.
yeah. But at the same time, I feel like because there's always these things that happen at concerts that I feel like as fans we always want to know. Like if there's an incident and there's
Uh-huh.
accusations being thrown out. We want to see. I want to see the video. I want to see because everyone has a cell phone. We expect by at this point we expect to see
It's
video
true.
of this incident, so that way it's not a he said she said thing. We can watch it
Yeah.
and have some evidence. And
Yeah.
also,
If a dude falls off stage, you're going to see it. That's
yeah,
almost a guarantee.
yeah. And also, I feel like it's also sometimes I do this sometimes if there's a show I want to go to but I can't, I'll sometimes look up videos of that show just to get a little bit
Ah,
of vibe of what I missed kind of stuff. So I do like that. But I do get in the thrall of it. I don't want if I'm really close, like in the pit or near the stage, I don't want someone right next to me just getting right up in there and like, I need to get this video. It's like you can if you wanted to if this was so important to you, get a press pass. Like what are you doing? No one
or he
cares.
just like they like turns it around to do like selfie footage too. He's like getting the whole crowd. Yeah, what's up? There's some of those guys too. I wouldn't be surprised to see like dudes in the circle pit like doing the selfie view.
Oh yeah. I feel like at that
That'd
point
be
though,
so
someone's just
stupid.
gonna smack that phone out of their hands.
Yeah, yeah, they'd just be asking for it. Uh, that'd be a great like gag to pull on like mosh pits. Just go in there, selfie view, and be that asshole. Just see how long it takes before you get fucking decked out in the face.
I feel like
Oh,
someone would
that'd
just
be
grab the phone and throw it.
yeah,
Then it's
right.
just
Or
lost
that.
forever.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't.
I feel like
It's tough,
sometimes
man.
bands make a big deal about the cell phones.
Yeah,
Like I feel like as fans we should be more annoyed about it, but don't have the band like ruin everyone else's fun because of someone. Like
yeah,
just perform, make us have fun. I don't want
right.
to hear you complain about someone on their phone. I feel like it's the same with
Yeah,
like comedians that are always complaining about people on their phones. And I know there's a lot of comedians now who even have people lock up their phones to get in. I feel like
yeah,
that's a little
right.
excessive.
That's totally excessive. I wouldn't do that, man. Like yeah, I would like to not need it, but I gotta have that communication device for an emergency. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna fucking lock up my phone, dude. You're crazy. You know?
Yeah. Especially if you're a parent and have kids, and if you're at these
Yeah,
events, usually someone else is watching your kids, either your spouse or a babysitter. So you need to know if something happens because what if they end up going to the emergency room and they're freaking out, and then you finally find out like 4 hours later.
yeah,
It's like,
no shit,
sorry, I
man.
couldn't make it. I was
Yeah,
at this
sorry.
concert.
Yeah. Or like, you get a babysitter and yeah, you locked up your phone and the babysitter's been trying to call you because your kid broke her arm. You get out 4 hours later, they're already at the hospital. Sorry, your kid broke your arm or broke her arm, but it's like, what?
Sorry, Joe Rogan was more important. He never comes to this
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Sorry, dude. I had those tickets for fucking months. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
that was interesting for a minute.
Well, I had another
Let's
topic.
see.
Now I can try to remember it. Oh, I remember
Okay.
now. So I was thinking of this when I was thinking of when we were going to talk about Against Me. Because for me, when I listened to that Against Me album, I've been listening to it a lot more recently, especially when it was around election season, because that stop
Uh-huh.
song was literally just pretty much about the '08 election, and that's pretty much what the album does. It kind of serves as a nostalgic. It brings me right back to that moment of when it came out and the feelings around it. So whenever I listen to it, it brings me back to that moment. So I feel like there's a couple albums here and there that I have that when I listen to it, bring me right back to a moment in my life, like a specific time. I was wondering if you have any albums like that, like I said, Against Me's New Wave does that for me for like the '08 time period.
Hmm.
Um, Fallout
Hmm.
Boys, From Under the Cork Tree. Whenever I listen to it, it makes me think exactly of like freshman year, stuff like that.
Nice.
Do you have any albums like
Yeah,
that?
I do, dude. And it would be Trivium's Ascendancy
Hmm.
because every time I hear that, I get flashbacks from playing Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation. And that fucking game was iconic, you know. It was a badass game in general, but it was like really the first game where I just like got scared as shit to keep playing it, but I couldn't put it down, you know. It was like a freaking double-edged sword, but yeah, really freaked the hell out of me. But I just remember I always had that album on blast, dude, anytime I was playing it. And I like listened to that album so many times playing that game. So like that game doesn't go without that album. And it's like
Hmm.
it's the same. Like I listen to that album, I see Resident Evil 4. It's so weird, but yeah. Um yeah, that album for sure, dude. Mastodon's March of the Fire Ants totally takes me back to high school. So I remember that was going around on a RIP CD with some other random ass songs on it. But yeah, dude, I love that. Mastodon's Iron Tusk. I always think of that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater that one
Yeah.
was on, and so that always takes me back to that. But there's some others, dude, for sure. But yeah, those ones definitely right off the top of my head.
Yeah. I do have a couple.
Carnifex's Lie to My Face. That was a big high school one as well.
Does it
But
bring you
yeah.
back to a specific year in high school?
Yeah, like maybe my senior year. Yeah, junior or senior year. Because I remember the class that I heard it in, like the classroom. It was like this side little fucking. It was in the gym, and the coach didn't really give a shit, and so it was Coach Foster. I don't even know if he's still there. He was like kind of like a part-time guy, but kind of overweight and would walk around and kind of look like he just walked around with a casual boner.
Kind of like
And
Coach
so like
McGurk from Home Movies.
yeah, home movies. Oh man, I don't know. I never watched a lot of home movies.
You never watched Home Movies? He was the fat orange haired coach who was
I don't
always
know.
talking to Brendan.
I gotta look it up now. Coach McGurk. Oh, okay. I know the show. Yeah, I know the show you're talking about. But yeah, I never watched it, man.
Oh, this was a great
I
show.
maybe. Oh wow, was that Brendan Small?
I think he created the show, but the voice of Coach McGurk was H. Sean Benjamin. He's the voice of Archer.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I never watched a lot. I may have watched a couple episodes, but damn, it's been so long. But anyways, yeah, this dude, he didn't really give a shit about it, and so he would like pop in the class and like give us our quiz and shit, and then he'd just like leave for 20 minutes. And so I would like put on, I think it was like a CD player, yeah, because we were like passing around burnt discs left and right, and so yeah, that was on one of them, and I fell in love with that song in that class. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I do remember with music and video games was also a big thing. Because remember back in the day you could rip CDs to your Xbox and Xbox 360 and actually have it playing while you're playing video games.
oh
'Cause I remember
yeah,
doing
dude, that
that.
was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing that with Halo 3, and I love Because at first I didn't like Disengage by Suicide Silence, but I had that whole album on there and would just play online for hours. And when
Oh
Disengage
hell
came
yeah.
on, it was always awesome.
Yeah,
Especially, I
dude.
can't remember the name of the level, but I remember what it looked like. It was where it was like it was the Covenants, and there was like a almost like a battle station kind of thing. But there's an upper level, there's an under level. There was a sword somewhere. Do you know which one I'm talking about? I can't remember the name, but it's from Halo 3.
Shit. Um, no. Damn, I played the shit out of Halo 3, but no, man, I don't.
I know my description is probably like every map in Halo, but
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was gonna search it, but I'm like,
there's an
nah, I
upper,
ain't gonna
there's a
find it.
middle, there's a lower,
Yeah.
there's a sword
Uh,
somewhere.
yeah.
But
That
yeah.
was such a badass feature, man. That was a prime feature that Xbox had over PlayStation, because I remember that was one of the reasons I opted to get an Xbox to do that, dude. It influenced me to buy one. And
Mhm.
so I think Saints Row was out around that time, maybe 2 or 3 or something. But the games, what I thought was so cool is they would implement that feature into the game. So like music that you uploaded to the Xbox would play like on the radio of a car in Saints Row.
Mhm.
So like you could literally turn it to a station and it would play your uploaded music. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So I just uploaded all kinds of heavy shit. Suicide Silence, fucking, Lamb of God, all everything. And I just thought it was so cool. I just drive around listening to like death metal in the game. But like it was just neat because like they made it sound like it was on the radio in the car in the game. So I don't know.
I want to say you could do that with Madden too, because I want to say they would
Oh
sound
yeah.
because they always had their own soundtrack. But I want to say I remember like I was about to kick a field goal and we'd be playing like death metal stuff, which obviously they're not going to put. I feel like the heaviest stuff they put on there was usually like Trivium or
Yeah.
Pantera. It wouldn't
Right.
be like a deathcore that I was listening to at the time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sad
the
they don't do
music's
that anymore.
definitely I know, like, and it's always just kind of meh type music. Like if I'm playing Madden, dude, play the songs that they're playing in the stadium, Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train. I feel like you almost hear that in the background of every football game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like iconic classics. That'd be fucking badass and fun.
I want to say they had a year of Madden. They did the kind of more classic songs. Like one I want to say had Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Oh, really?
It
Huh.
had like a lot of classic songs. I want to say it even had Pantera's. I don't remember which Pantera, but it was an older Pantera.
Oh, dude, that'd be
I think it was
sick.
Walk.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Probably. It's pretty like listener friendly. No
Yeah.
real curse words or anything.
Yeah.
But
Um.
man, that would just be such an awesome feature if they brought that back.
Hmm. At the same time, I don't know how you do it since I don't know that many people that are buying CDs anymore. So you'd have to probably
Yeah.
like I don't know if you could connect it to your Spotify, but then you'd probably have a contract issue.
Well,
Maybe if you
I
download
mean,
it.
so my Spotify, so PlayStation does have an app. You could download the Spotify app to the PlayStation and then play Spotify over a game.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
pretty similar, but like it's just not the same. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I almost
Yeah.
want it to be like an in-game feature, implement it
Yeah.
into the game rather than just playing over everything. Because
Hmm.
then, sometimes during menus or loading screens, like they're playing like the story movie part and you want to hear it and your fucking music's still blasting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Just being nitpicky at this point. First world problems.
But yeah. That's a bit about it for nostalgia. Actually, I do have one more. I feel like Gutter Phenomenon from Every Time I
Hmm.
Die always brings me
Okay.
back to like '06, '07 vibes. And even just Warp Tour in general, I feel like it's just a Warp Tour
Nice.
sound.
Yeah,
Like it
for
just has
sure.
that vibe and sound of what Warp Tour was at that time. Um, Even though when it came out, I hadn't been to Warp Tour. To me, Warp Tour was this mythical thing that I always wanted to go to. Um, but I eventually went in '09. And yeah, Gutter Phenomenon is pretty much just listening to that just makes me think of Warp Tour and just that '06, '07 time frame.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Like that would be like Job for Cowboys Genesis for me. That
Hmm.
was like the summer before I started high school. And so it just kind of ran rampant throughout my high school years. Like I never dropped Genesis throughout my entire high school years. So it was awesome being able to like carry that album through. And yeah, just really sticks with those times for me for sure.
Hmm.
Bought like
Oh
this
yeah.
t-shirt, was wearing the t-shirt to school. Thought I was fucking so badass for it. But it was crazy though, because me and my buddy at the time, we showed up to the first day of, I think, sophomore year wearing the same shirt. And so we look like the biggest, like, douchebag, like, duo. It was funny, but whatever. It was really stupid. But
Feel like your high school was a lot more fun than mine because no one had similar taste in music. Like there'd be a few people who like, oh, I kind of like some of these bands. I had someone who like told me about Sirius from Mars, but he was more into like indie rock and stuff
oh,
like
from
that.
Mars
But
to Sirius. Okay,
yeah, but
yeah.
other than that,
So like, I don't know. This high school was like a real, it's a small rural town, so the
mhm,
graduating class isn't, ginormous, and it's not like crazy small, but it's just kind of right there in the middle. It's just not real substantial. So like, I don't know. I just equate that to like the school size being small. I felt like it seemed like the stereotypes had to just be so drastically themselves. And
I
like they just
gotcha.
branched off, like the whole school had like 5 divisions. You had like the jocks, which was pretty big, it was a big portion. Then you had the hicks, which were the ag shop class guys and the fucking kids chewing tobacco in school. And
Hmm.
then you had like your kind of, I don't know, poppier bass teens. They kind of, fluctuated with the jocks and stuff, but the jocks always had like a feud with the hicks. And then the smaller faction was the skaters. And the skaters, in that you had metalheads, and then uh, you know drug experimenting kids, and they just all kind of intertwined in this mingling of skater groups. So, but
I
yeah,
gotcha.
it was just very expressive groups. It was just like a Freaks and Geeks episode. It seemed like at times.
I gotcha. I don't know. Mine didn't really. My high school was weird. Like there was kind of factions, but it was a small high school. Like I want to say, all in all, there was maybe 500 people in the entire school. I don't know if
Hmm.
for me it felt small. I think our graduating class had 120, but I want to say about 20 of them would actually go to our school because we had the secondary school, like the last chance school kind of thing, and
Hmm.
they were counted in our school. But I don't know, like we had jocks, but they were also different parts of different groups. Like we had football players who were also in the band, even though the football team and band usually butted heads. Our skater group or druggy group, whatever you want to call it, I mean, they all kind of gathered around and had specific music, but it wasn't really metal. They were more of like the Modest Mouse, and just weird
Ah,
indie music at our school.
hippie.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of in fact, some of them like I still listen to some of the bands that they recommended, like Damien Rice, Sigur Ross or whatever you want to call that. I forget how you
Oh, okay.
like they were more into like stuff like that. So metal wasn't really a thing. Like I had a couple of buddies in the Christian youth group who liked
Mm.
Under Oath and a little bit of Every Time I Die, but other than that, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot going on metal
Damn,
wise.
that's crazy. And you were up in Maryville, weren't you?
Yep, not a lot of
Damn.
metalheads up in Maryville.
Wow, that's
The
crazy.
few metalheads I knew would never really wear any metal clothes. It was just from talking to him, like my buddy Cody. He's the one who gave me Pantera's Great Southern Trendkill, Slayer's Rain and Blood, Cannibal Corpse, Worm Infested, um, couple albums like that. And
Nice.
then I had another friend. He was in a metal band, but he had kind of specific types of metal he liked. Like he liked
Huh.
Meshuggah and showed me them, but
Oh,
that was like
wow.
the heaviest he listened to. The rest was like he was very into
Great
System
taste.
of a Down. and alternative metal like that. So there wasn't really a lot
Okay.
of like deathcore and metalcore or death metal
Huh.
in general.
I see. Yeah, it was like surprisingly, man, for the size of this town, like the kids they fucking found some real underground shit, man. Like in high school there was this metal band Jerome that like went viral on
Oh,
YouTube, and they had
yeah,
a
Eat
couple
the
songs
Gum.
that were, yeah, dude, that was heavy as hell. That like one day that was like what everyone was talking about. I was like, holy shit, man. I mean, it's crazy, dude. They were fucking quick on downloading shit. That was the good old LimeWire days too. Downloading
Giving your
all kinds of all kinds of
giving
shit.
your parents all sorts of STDs,
Yeah.
or your
Oh
parents'
yeah.
computer all of his STDs.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's fun going down memory lane. But are you ready for
Oh
some
show.
devourment?
Oh dude. Yeah, I'm ready as hell.
Fuck yes. All
Yes.
right, let's get set up a little bit. So the tier list I found has some extra stuff because it has like their demo and compilation. I'm just gonna skip that, go straight into their debut because I don't think we should really count a compilation
Word.
or a demo because all the stuff that's on that is on albums anyway. It's just poorly recorded versions of them. Presentation mode, come on.
They also got, yeah, they also got like uh Butcher of the Week, and I'm pretty sure it's remastered because it's 2017, but that came out like 10 years prior, so
Yeah,
um
there's like the yellow version,
so
the
I know that's
blue
on
version.
Spotify twice. Yeah, I guess it's remastered or something.
Yeah, because I want to say I've seen people try to say like, oh, the blue version's the best version. Like, no, it's not. It sounds like shit. There's a reason the yellow version has like 3 times the amount of listens to it on Spotify. It's a better version.
Wait,
Let's
which one is?
the yellow version.
Oh, okay, see, I probably should have listened to it
Yeah,
because I
that's
didn't. I was like, Butcher of the Week already got it, and so I didn't go back into it, but maybe I probably should.
also I know Spotify's kind of out of order because I know they have Unleash the Carnivore later than it actually is.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, because it's supposed to go Molesting Decapitated, Butcher of the Week, Unleash the Carnivore, Conceived in Sewage, and then Obscene Majesty, and they have it weird date for some reason. I also have Wikipedia open because they have a lot of lineup changes. And I have that just in case, just
Oh,
to talk about it a
interesting.
little bit. All right. All right, here we go. Share. All right, so this week we are talking about a band that is awesome and everything about it. It's this is Dallas, Texas's very own Devourment. They are not the first, but I would say one of the biggest bands when it comes to slam. Kind of
Big
almost
pioneer
like,
band.
oh yeah. And I want to say, especially listening to their early stuff, they kind of established like a blueprint for what slam should be for, especially for like the underground bands. Because especially listening to their debut, uh, there's a lot of things that are reoccurring in a lot of underground slam bands. But we'll get to that. This band is started in the. I have Wikipedia. Why am I trying to guess? They started in 1995, marred by a lot of unstable lineups. I would almost equate their lineups almost to Mayhem's issues in the early days,
Mm,
because you had
a lot of vocal changes, huh?
yes. So originally, this band started off with Wayne Canup as the original vocalist, but he left. And then in that short time, Ruben Rosas came in, but only for about 2 years to be the vocalist. But in that time, he helped them record their debut album, and that is Molesting the Decapitated. Um, and this album came out in 1999. Um, so like I was saying, this album really kind of establishes a blueprint for all like underground slam. You have the pinging snare drum, that sounds like it is front and center, but it still sounds a little small, almost like they sort of make it like a kid's version of it, but then the older kids are up here playing guitar, and then it sounds like Ruben's vocals are coming down like God on you, which is how low and overbearing it is.
Yeah.
Very raw style, but still has some. This album still has a lot of good meat on it. It has Choking on Bile. I love the title track, Molesting the Decapitated. Um, but if you know Devourment, you also know, especially the early days, just a lot of fucked up songs, lyric wise, and also just sometimes even just title wise. Like, yeah, I got the song "Fucked to Death." Obviously, Molesting the Decapitated. This is a pretty good debut. I do think it gets better, but I do love that because this is like their biggest album when it comes to listens. It's most popular, and it's what people usually talk about if they want to pretend to, one of those flexing things like their debut's the only good one. But
Right.
it is good, and I see why it is important. I'm probably going to give this one an 8.2. What's your thoughts on this
Okay.
album?
I'm a little on the opposite side of the spectrum. I don't know, man. I dig it, like, but it is just a wall of sound, man. And it is
Mm-hmm.
just, there's not a lot of clarity with this band from the get-go. Um, and if you're expecting anything else but just extreme heavy, then, I mean, you're going to be disappointed. It's just a massive bowl of heaviness. And I say
Mm-hmm.
like bowl because it sounds like it's in a bowl. Like it's just like suffocated in a bowl. So I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's good, but it doesn't stick with me like their other material. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to give this one a 6.7.
Okay. So we're at a 14.2.
I feel like
All
I
right.
could get beat up for that one because I think a lot of people do like that one, but
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay. I mean, it's our show. We can do whatever we want. I do feel like this is
Yeah.
like the most common shirt I see of Devourment, even though I find that ridiculous that people are just going to walk around with a fat, naked dude with his penis out but no
Yeah,
head.
I know. Like it's so gross of an album cover, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know, it surprised me too.
Not only that, but having that cover on a shirt, and then also the name of the album like on somewhere on the shirt, like you're just asking for no one to want to talk to you in
Yeah.
public.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you just walk up to this guy. He's like so happy and cheery. Hi, how you doing? I'm just wearing my Devourment shirt. Less than the Decapitated. No big deal. Yeah, definitely eye catching for sure.
Oh yeah, I think even the band has talked about. It's like I don't get why people wear these shirts in public, or
Yeah,
why people want to buy these shirts, but
that's
they do.
crazy. Wow.
So after this debut, there was bigger issues that happened. The band even split up multiple times. Apparently, a lot of internal conflict. So Ruben went to prison for about 2 years, and the rest of the band decided that's the last straw and kind of quit because I guess there's also issues with the bassist at the time, whose either wife or girlfriend, whatever, was kind of working as the band's manager, just scheduling shows without the band knowing. So they didn't like that the band was kind of becoming more of a business instead of like for fun. So the band broke up. They did a couple reunions with Wayne Knupp at vocals, again, original vocalist, and then eventually fully reformed in 2005 with Ruben back in the band, but as a guitarist instead of the vocalist.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
2005, they release another big staple in the band's discography, and that is Butcher the Week. What's your thoughts? Keep in mind there are two versions of this album. There's the either the greenish blue one, which is like the original, and then the remastered yellow one, which is more popular according to Spotify. What's your thoughts on this album?
So I'm kind of staying the same with the last album on this one. I mean, might shock a lot of people. But with that being said, I did listen to the blue one. So I'm going to have to actually go back and listen to the yellow one. So I'm going to be pretty kind of loose on this rating. But it didn't stick with me, just as much as some of their other stuff has. But all their elements are definitely here. Like, one thing that I love about this band is, like, yeah, they're slammy, but they're very much just blast full force in your face too. Like, they just do not shy away from the blast. So, that aspect is really cool. But again, it's almost kind of that production that kind of kills it for me. So I think that listening to the yellow one, my mind's probably going to change. But yeah, so as of now, I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay. For me, this is I know I'm listening to Capti is like the fan favorite, but for me, I feel like this is the classic. This is the classic Devourment. So if I go to listen to old Devourment, this is the one I go to. I do really like this one a lot better. I think it sounds better. I think there's a lot better song parts in this album. You got like the song. So this one has. I already mentioned it in the previous album, to where there's some things like just fucked up song titles. This one, it's pretty much all over the place, to where it's one of those albums, like, if you listen to public, you got to hope no one's asking you what you're listening to. Like, you have there's 8 songs on this album. There's only 2 they can maybe get away with not being the fucking weird dude. And that's Butcher of the Week or Tomb of Scabs. And even that is kind of like on the edge. But some of the other great songs that are good songs on here, like, you got Masturbating at the Slab, Serial Cocksucker, Anal Electrocution. Great songs, weird titles, obviously, but great songs. And you kind of mentioned it with the Blast, because that's pretty much what this band does great, especially in this album. I feel like they kind of make it better, to where they're either super fast in your face, like blast beats, just blasting the shit out of their drums, or just the grooviest, slammiest, awesome parts in between. And there's no other. It's one or the other. And I feel like they really have that formula down in this album. This album also has their most popular album or song on this album, and with their biggest song being the song Baby Killer. And it's again one of those titles that if you say it out, if you say, hey, I'm listening to a song called Baby Killer, people aren't going to want to talk to you. But this is as abrasive as the sound is, this song starts off with like one of the catchiest lines. Like, you can actually understand like the first couple lines, and to where I hear it and I want to sing along, I want to scream. It's one of the songs that makes the crowd pop off and sing along, which is weird in a slam band, but I think it works great in this song. So for me, I'm probably going to give this one a 9.
Nice.
So we're at 16. Put you right there. All right. Up next, Spotify has the wrong year on this one. We have 2009's Unleash the Carnivore. What's your thoughts on this one?
It was definitely a vibe change. I thought the vocals were probably the most notable change on this one, because they just gave me definitely more deathy, almost kind of cannibal style vibes than the traditional super slammy gurgly stuff. So it was cool, but I almost kind of prefer the gurgly route for this band, so wasn't high up there for me. I would probably give this one a 7. Okay. What's your thoughts on this one?
So when I first got into Devourment, this is the one I would always go to, because I felt like this was the most, like, I love the album artwork. Like, that's kind of drew me in first, then also the awesome name. I thought that was cool. And then also it's one of those things, like, I can listen to this and tell people what I'm listening to without being the weird guy. But going back to this, this is probably my least favorite sound-wise, because I don't feel like, it feels this album does feel cleaner. It does feel like a vibe change, and I'm glad you bring up the Cannibal Corpse comparison because I remember listening to this back in the day, thinking like, this is like the Cannibal Corpse of the slam genre, and it kind
Right.
of is in this. But for me, the songs don't stick out as much. It almost feels like the cleaner production makes things not stand out as much. It kind of ruins that the trashy vibe that some of the previous albums had, that charm it had. But for me, there's still a couple good songs. For me, Abomination Unseen is probably the best song on this album. Uh, Fed to the Pigs isn't bad, but for me, this one's kind of lackluster. I'm probably going to give this one a 7.
Okay.
What was your score on this one?
I gave it a 7 as well.
Okay. So, add row below. All right. So, a few years later, let me pull up the exact year because now I don't trust Spotify's years. In 2013, Devourment decides to release their 4th studio album, and that is where'd it go? Where'd you go? Why is this so out of order? Here it is. They decided to do very much a vibe change again on their 2013 album, Conceived in Sewage. I'm not gonna lie, for the longest time, I kind of avoided this album because this was always labeled as it's them abandoning their slam roots. It kind of go into more of a straightforward modern death metal vibe, which is very prominent in the opening track, Legalized Homicide. But actually listening to this and listening to it all the way through for the first time with an open mind, I actually do see a lot of good in this album, and there is still some slammy parts, but it's not as pronounced as it used to be. I kind of like the some of the in the middle of the album songs, like 50-Ton War Machine, Today We Die, Tomorrow We Kill, Heaving Acid, even the cool little battle drum instrumental March to Megiddo is pretty cool. So this one is actually, it's a huge vibe change, but I kind of prefer this over Unleash the Carnivore. For me, it's not up to snuff with like Butcher the Week, but it's still it's an interesting idea. I'm glad they switched back to it, but I think this was a good for its time. So I'm probably going to give this one a 7.9. What's your thoughts on this one?
I am kind of saddened that to say that I did not listen to this one. I've kind of failed on my homework as far as that goes, but I just kind of glanced at it, and I really like what I'm hearing, dude. In like the opening of Legalized Homicide, that's sounds like a sick ass opening. I'm gonna have to check out this record for sure. So I think I'm gonna kind of have to give it I'd probably have to rate it like a 6, just to keep it fair. But
Okay.
with that being said, I want to listen to it. I was just looking, and it looks like this is with vocalist Mike Majewski, and this
Oh, that's right.
guy,
They did have a, yeah,
he did the albums Butcher the Week, Unleash the Carnivore, and Conceived in Sewage.
as the vocalist.
So yes, as the vocalist, and because
Where was
Ruben
Wayne?
Rosas looks like it was.
Oh, you're right.
It started as Wayne, but it quickly went to Ruben Rosas before the first album. Wayne popped back in for a second, and then he passed away in the early 2000s. And then Ruben got incarcerated, I think, and then got out, and then they recorded 3 albums where Ruben was on guitar for those 3 albums. That's Butcher the Week, Unleash the Carnivore, and Conceived in Sewage. And then they just switched from Mike Majewski to Ruben Rosas for the next album, and did some member swaps and obtained, it looks like, Dave Spencer on bass.
Mhm.
And then Chris Andrews, the bass for the previous 3 albums, went to guitar.
Yeah, lots
So,
of members just kind of
Yeah.
swapping their role. It's weird.
That's-
Weird.
It is weird, but it's crazy how they can still capture the sound of devourment. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
revolving like that. That's
Mhm.
that's special talent, dude. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's nuts. I never really looked into their history or anything like that, but I find that so interesting.
Yeah. Also, it feels because really they're all doing like extraordinary stuff, especially like Brad Fincher, the drummer, because you're probably looking at the same
Hmm.
thing I'm looking at, to where he was the original drummer, gone for a long time, and then finally back. He adds a lot to it, but I do think it's
Hmm.
interesting that the members just can go in and out of each role, to where if they had to, they could just fill in for one of their own bandmates and kind of kill it, because they're all doing kind of crazy shit. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but that does bring us to the newest release. That is 2019's Obscene Majesty. I remember I got into him, I want to say 17 or 18. So I had a lot of anticipation for this album. And I was not disappointed. This was my album of the year for that year. I love this album. And going back through it again, I still love this album, Obscene Majesty.
Dude.
It's the production is so much crisper and cleaner, but it still captures the just brutality of them. It sounds like pretty much like you're being ran over by a freight train for like 10 songs. And this is
Yeah.
like their longest album too. Um has my absolute favorite song of any Devourment, and that is Cognitive Sedation Butchery, which 4 minutes and 53 seconds of just pure awesomeness
Oh,
of
fuck yeah, dude.
oh yeah. You got Artillery Spray Patterns, Profane
Hmm.
Contagion, which I've gotten more and more into, Sculpted Tyranny,
Yes.
Modem Sui Morte, which reading the lyrics like, God, that's very depressing. And then also you got Translucent Antipathy. So one thing about this album I also find interesting. So with all the other albums, it was very pretty much everything was kind of the same thing. It's very misogynistic, super gory. Is always involved murder, gore,
Hmm.
sexual violence of some kind, self mutilation, and stuff like that. That's pretty much the same things they did over and over again. This album, they kind of go. There's still a little bit of that, but it's more. Everything feels more mature and almost surgical with how they do it. Like Cognitive Sedation Butchery is about the point of view of someone being under they're cognitively awake but under sedation, where they can't do anything and are slowly kind of
Oh,
well,
damn.
butchered. Um,
That's brutal.
Modem Sui Morte is them telling the listener how to easily kill themselves. Very dark
Wow.
and fucked up, but I think it plays very well with the heaviness of how they do it. And then Translucent Antipathy is also super interesting when you read the lyrics, because it starts off kind of like how they always used to do, like starts off with like just a fucked up serial killer with a boner trying to look for his next victim. He finds one, and then all of a sudden, come to find out, the woman is actually the same thing as him, just the opposite sex, and butchers and murders him. Like
Oh, wow.
it's sick, but it's also just it kind of it's nostalgic but also modern at the same time. It's a awesome song. I love this album. I'm probably gonna give this one. This is my 10 for Devourment. What's your thoughts on this album?
I'm right there with you, dude. This album is a masterpiece. I had not listened to this band before this album. And so, going back through, I can appreciate their history of discography, but this is the grand masterpiece, in my opinion. Like, dude, I love this album front to back. Um, and getting back into it, playing the first song of Virulent Strain of Retaliation, it is just so heavy. It is just very uh, in your face, man. So, like, if you're new to Devourment and you haven't really ever listened to him before, be fucking prepared to, like, uh, buckle up. As stupid and cliche as that sounds.
But it's true.
Uh, It's just a wall, dude. It's a fucking ginormous, massive amount of sound that just enthralls your ears. And so that first song, getting back into this, I was like, damn, this is good. This is kind of hard. This is rough. But if you make it past that first song, dude, it is like just easy coasting, I feel, for the rest of the album. Because I think one of the biggest changes that you notice between song 1 and 2 is he starts implementing those pinch harmonics and fucking badass notes in the chunky ass breakdowns. And once it slows down and you kind of the cymbals fade out, you get those fucking meaty riffs and you get to hear how low they really are. And it's like, oh my gosh, like this has to be the heaviest album in history, in metal history. I haven't listened to anything heavier. In terms of heaviness, I think this is the heaviest, man. Like, I don't know that you can get much heavier. Like, they have the lowest guitar tuning that I think I've ever heard. And it is just, it's insane. And the vocals are insane. It's a great gurgle slam vocal for what they're doing. I don't think any other style would really fit. And I think that you got to be like a fucked up dude to be able to do those vocals. And so, I feel like this Rosas character is perfect for that, man, and clearly slays the Devourment thing. And he, not only that, but he's like very, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Very intimidating in appearance. Like, and then once you find out he's doing those vocals behind it, like, damn, dude, I got to go to a show, man. I really have got to see these guys live. Because I would just hate myself if I missed them play these songs live, man. I think they're so groovy. I love the riffage. And to know that that's the bass player transitioning to guitar for this album, I think is sick as hell, dude. I hope he continues, and I hope we get another Devourment album like this because it is great. It is a absolute masterpiece. Favorite tracks: Cognitive, Sedation, Butchery, for sure. Arterial Spray Patterns. Sorry, don't know why that was hard. Sculpted in Tyranny. Truculent Antipathy. Yeah. The ending of Sculpted in Tyranny, though, that just ride out. That's like, oh man. They know how to write out a slam riff, and I love it, dude. They're like probably my favorite slam band. Like, I love some slam albums out there, but I love this one. It is up there on the pedestal, man, of, in my opinion, what to do. And, like you said earlier, what to chase if you're trying to do slam. They are a great pioneer band of the genre, and this is a great later album for this band, man. It's a 10 for me as well.
All right.
I think this album is flawless front to back, dude.
Hell yeah. And like you were saying, like their guitars are tuned so low, but they do such a good job of the of somehow still making it to where you can still distinguish like what they're doing. Like especially in that Cognitive Sedation Butchery, those slams that like that whole
dude.
Everything about it, you can hear every single little thing they're doing in that part, and it's awesome. And it makes it even more heavy. It's just more methodical in what they're doing. It's great. I love it. Yeah,
for sure, dude.
Hopefully we can see them on this Carnifex tour. Hopefully they add a lot more Obscene Majesty. From what I've seen, they kind of do a lot more of like Molesting or Butcher. They don't really seem to do anything from Unleash or Conceived. They'll play a couple from Obscene. Hopefully they play more of Obscene, because I would love to hear some of these songs live. But either way, I would just love to see Devourment live. I think that would be awesome.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, killer band, man.
Yeah. So at number 1, with a perfect 20, we have Obscene Majesty. Number 2, with 16, we got Butcher the Weak. Number 3, at a 14.2, we got Molesting the Decapitated. Number 4 with 14, we got Unleash the Carnivore. And at number 5, we have Conceit and Sewage with a 13.9. I'm happy with this.
Nice. Same.
Yeah. Put you back over here. Yeah, that has been our Devourment ranking. I love that. I felt like this past week has been great, both with the new playlist being short and also just being able to really listen to every single Devourment song. I loved it. I remember even just being in the kitchen with Jensen and Theo doing dishes, but blasting this and just the slamming part. So I just started doing a slam dance, and Jensen's trying to do it with me. Theo's just laughing.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, I was riffing them at work, just painting. So yeah, it's one of those moments where, like, I'm in my own world listening to them on headphones, but then I gotta pause it, and it's like some old lady trying to ask me something. I'm like, oh yes, hi, how can I help you?
Did any of those old ladies ask you, so what song are you listening to? Oh,
Yeah, this is Baby
Fuck Her
Killer
to
by
Death.
Devourment. Yeah. Oh, that's a great album. Obscene Majesty. I've heard of that band. Yes, yeah, they're great.
I did try to listen to this in the Bronco, and the 87 speakers cannot do it
handle it.
justice. No, it was a lot of blown speaker sounding stuff going on. It's
Yeah, I
better
worry
with
about the
headphones.
Ranger trying to play these guys. I think I got to update my system so that they can capture the low frequencies.
Yeah, that's been Devourment. Who should we do next?
Cool. I got 2 S's for you.
All right.
Well, not like, Nazi SS, but so I'm thinking of Strapping Young Lad again. I'm going to throw him up there in the ring just because I'm really pushing on hard on that discography. But another one I thought that would be fun that we brought up tonight. Or wait, did we bring him up? Maybe I'm just crazy. Suicide Silence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you brought up Disengage. That's where I got that from. But yeah.
Let's do Strapping Young Lad.
Okay. Cool.
How many albums do they have again?
5.
Okay.
Just 5 to take in. And they're pretty short. I don't know. I find them easy to get through. But if you're not a Strapping young lad fan, I don't know, it could be interesting. But I think if you dig what he does in his Devin Townsend project stuff, you can definitely appreciate some stuff that's going on in their tunes. So I don't know. I think it'll be fun, man.
Yeah. I do know they get a lot of praise even from other metal bands, because I want to say I was watching like the Lamb of God As the Palaces Burn making the album documentary, and I guess the band was so impressed by his album City that they wanted him to help them record As the Palaces Burn.
Yeah.
So that made me want to check out
whole
City.
Feud about it though, and I think they were unhappy with As the Palaces Burn. So
yeah, and they interviewed both him and the band, and Devin kind of was like, I didn't really understand, because I guess Lamb of God's very hands on with how they record, and Devin's not used to that, so it just turned into kind of a mess in both of their eyes, to where when they try to do the like mixing stuff, like he tried to salvage what he could, but the band was not happy with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it definitely, to me, sounds like a weird mix. If I go back and listen to the original, I think I do like the remastered version that they later released. But with that being said, I think that Devin's producing, like, is still, you could definitely hear what he's going for. I just don't know that it's good for Lamb of God. I think they're just a wrong band for his style. Like we were just talking about that 2008 Bleeding Through album, Declaration. That they're made for that sound. They got the synth going. Devin liked if Strapping Young Lad obviously you're going to get a load full of synth in that music, and
Mhm.
I think it's awesome. I think it's perfect. Gene Hoglan on drums, dude, flawless, amazing drummer. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just think Lamb of God was probably the wrong band then.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if he did do an In Flames album, but I'd be surprised if he didn't, because I feel like that would be a band that would have been up his alley for production. But I don't know. I don't know the
Yes.
history there.
I think probably the issue is probably like, because I think when it comes to if you have a producer like that who has their own band, you kind of have to give your version of your vision, then let them do
Mm,
their own thing. But I think with Lamb of God, they're too hands on to what they want their vision to be. That there's kind of a
yeah,
communication issue with the overall thing. Because Devin's going to have his vision, but it's going to be different from Lamb
yeah,
of God's. So that both
right.
the unstoppable force and immovable object are conflicting with each other.
Sure. Yeah, they're both big. I hate to say the word ego, but I mean, really, I think it's ego. Both entities have ginormous egos. You look at Devin and all the frickin' side projects he's got. It's
Hmm.
like, and Strapping Young Lad is still pretty much his brainchild. You know what I mean? That guy, I don't know. He has an interesting origin story. I want to say he comes from the learnings of Steve Vai or some shit.
Okay.
I know they were connected and back in the day, or maybe he was like a guitar tech for him or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but might look it up whenever we do the rankings or some shit. But yeah, anyways, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. So strapping young lad next week. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so we'll have strapping young lad and also a pretty big new release playlist this
Oh
week.
yeah.
So
Okay, so yeah, we got a lot of homework. Damn.
hmm yeah, it'll be a fun week, good episode, and yeah, we'll get it. But
For
until
sure.
then, you can check us out on Spotify. You can check us out on really anywhere you get your podcasts consuming from. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out at TikTok. Um, we're more active on that again. I've been setting it up to a week in
Ooh,
advance and just upload our newest episode to our program to get more TikToks out there. So yeah,
nice.
follow us, get more of your death metal daddy fix. Uh, you can also email us at deathmeldaddies@gmail.com. No big deal. But yeah. Until then, death metal daddy's out.
Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye, everybody. Love you.